everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the 7F's goal setting series. Hey, Nisi, freehandly made. Don't you worry about a thing. Thanks for lurking. So everybody knows Mtn Grandma, which is Tammy.
Hello.
And we have a special guest, Gail of Gail's Southern Living. So welcome. How are you ladies doing today?
Doing good.
Doing good. Fighting a bit of a cold. If I sound funny, guys, that's what I got going on.
So I'm going to just go to the chat. I said hello to most people, but I wanted to just say hello to Lori at LG Homestead. Ariella woke up and saw the alert and put us on. Go back to bed, Ariel. But thank you. Hello, Pam at Blue Self-Reliance. Hey, Garden at Table with Heather Lynn. And I said hello to Nisi at Free Hanley. Hello, the Orchid. Welcome in, guys. So, for those of you who are not familiar with the 7Fs, if you haven't been here before, faith, family, friends, fun, fitness, finances, and faith.
And future.
I got too many then.
You counted faith twice.
Okay. See, good thing she's paying attention. Tammy keeps me on track.
Likewise, Lisa.
So we're going to talk about the 7Fs today, and Gail is going to talk to us about a cool board she made. Is that correct?
Here's my poster.
I'm going to make you larger. Whoops, hang on.
There we go.
Very cool.
About half of the poster board. And I just kind of scrapbooked it a little because it's going to be hanging on the wall. I wanted it to look nice. Future was my hardest section. But once I got to thinking about it for a while, I actually figured out some stuff to put in that section as well. And finances is hard because I'm not the finance person here. That would be hubby. But yeah, friends obviously is kind of a difficult one because I just lost my friend last year. And finances pretty much just trying to monetize Coupon Gail, so I get a source of income there with that. And I have some family goals, visiting them and doing game nights with the kids and stuff like that. Trying to keep a balance between doing YouTube well and still paying attention to your family. I think that's important. And trying to work on my fitness goals. I'm having a hard time getting motivated with that. And then taking time to have fun, like go traveling and, do crafting and stuff like that. Hence the Southern Sandy Crafts channel, which I'm doing just for fun because I like doing that stuff. And then I'll have some faith goals to try to do the like a weekly Bible reading thing on my channel. Also to do a private Bible study, where it's just me and God. And then listen to my Christian music because I think that really brings me up when I listen to it. Kind of keeps me in the right headspace.
Mm-hmm.
Got through taping my Gail's Tales for today, and it was kind of like a hard one to do that I've been trying to get it done. And I started this and I said, okay, I just got to get this video done. And so I could tell my story about what happened with my old job and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I think that helps with the healing process. Even though it's been a while, it still has little dents in my heart, I guess you would say, where the pain kind of goes down deep. But in future goals, to monetize Coupon Gail, obviously, to work on, to get more regular about doing my prepping inventory so I know what I have going on in the pantry. To use my pressure canner. I had Rebel Tears on. I was like, I've only canned a few times. I have a nice brand new pressure canner. I need to use it and not be so intimidated by it. I also got to learn to use my GoPro. That's another thing I need to master. And I would like to reach maybe 2K with Gail Southern Living eventually. It's kind of slow going, but I did enter that Crystal's giveaway challenge thing, and that's really helping with that. So that's cool. That's just kind of an outline of some stuff. I've put down, visit my mom monthly, visit my sister 2 or 3 times a year, more family game nights, do fun stuff with daughters. And then, of course, we got our trip to Tennessee, so that's in the fun category. So I have to start looking at different fun things there are to do in Tennessee. I haven't gone on there and started doing that yet. Usually I try to order one of those little travel guides that has all the stuff in it and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and try to maybe find a channel I could try to meet while I'm there, maybe at least like lunch. I'm thinking Red Road Homestead, is she in Tennessee?
Yep.
Or Alabama?
Red Road,
Boots and Bounty.
Boots and Bounty, Granny Moreno, Blue Collar. There's a lot of people in Tennessee.
That would be awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be cool if I could set something. It would be even more cool if we could set up like a few of us all meeting at one place, but that was probably be hard because I bet everybody's like in totally different areas.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, Sandy.
In my friends, under my friends section, I have a lot of friends on YouTube. And of course, I lost my friend Ashley last year. So my goal is to try to invite some of my friends here in my town, to like go to lunch and stuff like that. That's kind of hard for me, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try to do that. Maybe like invite the preacher's wife, and there's some people in my Bible study and stuff like that I can invite. So
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Mrs. VSNC09. Hello, Sandy, suburban homesteader, Wyoming, Arizona. Welcome in. Hi, Callie homesteading with Pooh Bear. Tiny Tim Posey, Fox Holler Homestead. You were going to say, Gail?
I plan on posting this up on the wall so I can look at my goals and add things to it and remind myself of it. Also, on a separate thing, specific YouTube goals, I am making up a board for that too, because of 3 channels, I want to try to stay focused on, each channel a couple of days a week to try to reach certain goals. Like Gail Southern Living, I want to try to make 3 or 4 8-minute videos a week. So I'm going to have a little round circle. I showed it to Lisa one day when we were on a live together. And I'm going to put it all on Velcro, and I'm going to try to stay focused. And each channel has different types of goals. Because on Coupon Gail, of course, I have to keep the coupons coming in for myself because that's channel content to show what's coming in and stuff like that. So that's actually something I have to focus on doing on my days when I'm Coupon Gail. Which personality am I today? Coupon Gail, Gail Southern Living, or Southern Sandy Crafts? I don't know.
Yeah, Sandy said 3 channels are challenging. Yes, it is.
Imagine.
Yes. Well, I like I said, I have it split up 2 days a week, and then Saturdays freestyle, because sometimes we're doing family stuff on that day, so I don't have to worry about it on Saturday. Or if I have time, I can just go in on whatever channel I want to that day or whatever. Now, when it comes to posting videos, just whatever video I have to post that day, I'm still going to work on that. But as I go into live, I'm going in as the different channels because that's the day that I'm on that channel. So it's pretty much set. Tuesday is this channel, Friday is this channel, and that's the only way I can really keep track of it and try to keep track of people and watch the videos of the channels that are in my notifications or in my comment section.
Yeah.
And of course, I have step words. I have all my gardening goals out there too. So I'll be trying to work on that. 30 minutes or an hour, depending on the day. Trying to work on that, get my stuff composted. And I did a little bit of the rebellious rogue planting, which means planting way too early, but it's really only, it's Texas, it's warm. I really only have a couple of weeks before I can plant, by the book anyway. So I'm throwing it out there. We'll see what happens. I can always put some more seeds in there if I need to.
Mm-hmm.
Seeds is not a thing I have lack of.
Right.
Because of Garden State Gardener and people I've seed swapped with and, seeds I've won on other channels. I mean, I'm plentiful with seeds. I really only had to buy maybe 3 seed packets for the whole year. I think I bought dill, kale, and some peppers.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I bought this year. Oh, and purple tomatillos. I guess that's 4.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's all I bought there. So
Nice
I'm
job.
trying to do better on my weight this year than I did last year on the amount of vegetables I grow in my garden. And Tammy and I ended up on different teams. I was hoping, John, we didn't pick you, so we would be on the same team. But it doesn't matter. We're still on the same team.
No, so Robert had left messages on my videos where I never saw any comments from John. So I thought for sure I was going to be on Homestead Aquarius. So I was really surprised that I was on, that John picked me first. But, I was looking at my video, you guys, and man, one of my weak points is that, so I consider myself a humble person, and I always want to maintain my humbleness. Like, that's important to me, like none of us can think we do too great of a job because somebody else is doing better. I mean, that's just the rule of thumb, right? And so I did a really good job of expressing all of my challenges in my entry video, but I should have explained how I was going to try to overcome them. I mean,
You could have built yourself up a little bit more. But it seemed like you were over focusing on the bad things to me. But probably you as you watch it, you're like, oh.
They were the bad things, but in my mind goes to, these are the problems I have to solve. These are the problems I'm going to solve. But I did not express that well. So, I mean, really, like, are you going to pick somebody who's like, okay, so I've got this, I got this, like, all of this is what's against me. I really didn't share what I was going to do. So next year I'll do a better job at that. And I hope to surprise people. Like maybe, and what nobody knows is my husband and I are talking about buying a calf this year too. So might possibly do that because we bought a half a cow from somebody last year, and some of our friends that live up here are like, hey, we'll go in on one with you. And if we get, I would want to get 2 just so that they weren't lonesome. So they had, a friend. So we'll see if we end up deciding to do that though, because he'd have to put up some fencing back there, and we'll see how we do. But I've got other ideas. One of the things I'm going to grow, Gail,
What's that?
flipping cactus, girlfriend. I'm going to grow a prickly pear and learn how to cook that stuff. You betcha.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that. Prickly pear jam.
Yeah, I am. I got my corner set up for hydroponics. I'm going to have a little hydroponics area for my leafy greens. And yeah, I know it.
I love hydroponics. The way to go.
Yep.
My greenhouse blew away last year, and it was never replaced.
What happened?
My greenhouse blew away last year with one of these winds, and it's the frame of the greenhouse because it wasn't real expensive high end, so it blew away, and we kept the plastic, but the frame part was bent, and so I never replaced it. So I don't have a greenhouse. But you know what? It's Texas. I can literally plant like between now and the next couple of weeks, really, I can start. So that's what happened here when my greenhouse blew away. All I did, I said, okay, I'm going to overcome. This is my first hurdle, the greenhouse messing up some of my seedlings. What did I do? I threw what I could under the grow light that I got from the Vineyard Chicks. And I just started planting tomatoes straight in the ground. And it was a little bit early, just like this year, but I'd had a great crop of tomatoes. So
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Texas, just throw it in the ground. The girls.
Well, it's I know you said it wasn't an expensive greenhouse, but I can tell you even the expensive ones get blown away. It's just the fact of it. We have that one that we
I
got for
would want to
50.
know how we cement it down. Literally put it in bucket, put the poles in buckets of cement, and it would not blow away. If I
Yeah.
had it do all over again, that's how I would do it.
That's
Yeah.
a good idea.
We ended up putting stakes in the ground for ours, and we put it on a gravel base, but it was a $50 greenhouse from Marketplace. But one of the things that I've had to go out and do is this. It's the same greenhouse I think that Shelly at Whiskey and Sunshine Off Grid has. And she's talked about it too, is having to go out and take the snow off the roof so it doesn't collapse it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because it's not that not that sturdy. Hey, Too Fat, Too Furious, welcome in.
My worst crop last year was peppers. So the only thing I put up under my grow light this year, because I only have the one grow light I got from the Vineyard Chicks, I never did order anymore. I just focused on peppers because peppers was what I was having trouble with last year. So I just did peppers under the grow light. So I will have the peppers I started under the grow light are not the cosmic peppers, but I'm going to have a whole bed of the cosmic peppers for the cosmic pepper challenge this year. And the peppers I'm going to put in other places because they say you're not supposed to mix your sweet and your hot peppers because of cross-pollination, I think. So.
Wow, that's cool. We had bad luck with peppers last year too, and we've never had trouble with peppers, but we find
with jalapenos, but I mean, I was trying to grow the peppercini peppers from Will It Grow. I was trying to grow some habanero peppers from Bobby. Oh, I forgot his channel name. But yeah, I'm trying to read what she says.
Yeah. Does Texas have grants for greenhouses from the Department of Ag? Wyoming does, and I think South Dakota does. Yeah, South Dakota, they have. I think they have the high tunnel one if you register your farm. So we're thinking about doing that in the future, just not this year. We're going to use the small greenhouse because last year we actually planted Swiss chard in end of August, early September, and I actually harvested it in the snow in October. That's like super success for us. So I'm going to try and see if we can do some of that. But I'm more the indoor gardener at this point. So I told Ryan the outdoor garden is all his. He can have it because I love the hydroponics. I'm successful. Outdoor, not so much. Hey, yeah. Matt Aker.
I like the outdoors because if you forget to water it, God always waters it.
Where you live, yes. I can't remember the last time it rained here. I was watching somebody's video where it was pouring rain in Florida, and I thought of you, Tammy, because I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I can't remember the last time we had rain. It's been snow or hail.
Snow or hail, wow.
Yep. Oh. Yeah. Tammy, I'm going to let you take over for just a minute. I've got somebody at my door.
Okay. Yeah, we do get the rain, but we don't get as much of it as frequently as we'd like. When it rains, usually it can pour. And so then we have to worry about flooding and things like that because the ground is so dry. But I've been looking into different ways that people are gardening or have been successful at growing anything in the high desert. Our challenge, like my video, here I go into my challenge thing again. We're typically dry. We're not as dry as like southern Arizona, but up in northern Arizona, we kind of have the double whammy of we get the snow. So it's cold. We're not as dry, but we're still pretty dang dry. And then our last snow will come in the beginning of May. So
what grows the best there in Arizona?
So it depends on where you live. Last year, I was successful. I was successful with the squash, all of it. I did spaghetti squash. I did zucchini. I did summer squash, all of them. I was very successful with those. The cucumbers did pretty good, but I had to keep an eye on them because if they had too much exposure to sunlight, they end up all bitter and gross. So our sun's pretty darn hot up here. I mean, it could be 50 degrees outside and you could want to have a short sleeve shirt on if there's no wind because that sun is so hot. I've even noticed with my plants that I'm growing through the winter that I've been hauling in and out, the leaves, which it's turnips, I've got Swiss chard. I killed my spinach again, and I think that might be why the sun. I'm going to try spinach and hydroponics and see how they do. And I might try some outside in the shade, but the green onions. But with all of that, I have to really be careful. And the kale. The turnips seem to be the most sensitive to our sun, even though it's only, I'm putting them outside, and on our warmest day, we're it may be 62 on the warmest day. I have to be careful because that direct sunlight can be damaging to them. But
Yeah.
I grow cilantro there.
I've grown cilantro. My cilantro did well. And then it got bugs. And it was coming up on the winter time, and I pulled what I wanted off of it, froze it, and I just let it die off. I'm going to grow it again this year. I think it had aphids, had the little bitty green guys. And
My checklist tips this year are going to be about pest control, because I had ants in my corn and my zucchini, and eventually my zucchini was demolished by caterpillars. Now, I'd gotten a lot of zucchini out of there before it happened, but still, I was so sad. It took over, and once it did, I didn't even know what was happening. Boom, it was gone. I was like, oh.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Hey, I apologize. I had to step away for a minute, and I'm going to digress for just a second. It's rare that I have somebody knocking on my door, so I knew it was my neighbor, and that's why I answered it. But can you believe this? My neighbor brought over 3 loaves of homemade banana nut bread.
Oh, how nice.
Because we plowed his driveway.
Oh,
He's in his 80s.
You FedEx some of that to me.
Yeah. He's in his 80s, and he's the best neighbor we've ever had in our lives. And
that's awesome.
that's why I answered it, because I knew it had to be him, because I know Ryan's not coming home today. But I said, you don't have to do that for us. And he's like, yeah, but I appreciate it. He goes, I looked outside and I said, it's cold out there. So anyway, so welcome in, bake a leg, and let's dig it. So thanks for understanding, guys. I wanted to make sure he wasn't having a problem. Plus, I'm sitting right by the door and people can see me. It's kind of rude if you don't answer.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Because I'm on the phone, and if I hit chat on my phone, I can't see my own self, and so that really confuses me.
Yeah. Hey, Leanne, Mennonite Farmhouse.
I need to know.
Leanne says that's because I'm not her neighbor. Yeah, but he brought us 3 loaves. He's just the sweetest guy ever.
That was sweet.
I can't wait for zucchini bread. Speaking of zucchini.
Yeah. That was my big win last year, was all of the squash. And you know what? My cayenne pepper. I had a couple cayenne pepper plants, and at the beginning of the season I did a couple videos, and I'm like, oh, and these guys, they're not doing anything. Like, they didn't look like they were doing anything. But by the end of the season, they were beautiful. They looked like little Christmas pepper plants, all the red cayenne peppers hanging with the green. They were awesome. So I harvested all of my cayenne. I don't need to grow it this year. Like, I have enough cayenne pepper now, because I use it for medicine and as well as cooking. I'm good. So I am going to grow
before.
Huh?
I've never grown cayenne pepper before.
Yeah, me neither. It was a first for me, and it was a win. I did keep them in buckets, and if I was worried about it being a cold night, I brought them in and out. So I did do that. Eventually, once it was the summer, I could just leave them outside all the time. But that's how I did those guys. I'm going to do some bell peppers this year. $1 a piece for a bell pepper at the grocery store, you guys.
Yep.
I think there's some bell peppers in the Cosmic Pepper Challenge. They said there's a mix of peppers, and they're all sweet. So I think there's some bell peppers in there. But just in case there's not, I am going to try to plant some. I'm going to try to probably in a tote or in that big compost bin that I made up to be a raised bed.
Who's doing the Cosmic Pepper Challenge?
Cosmic Cultivators.
Oh, okay.
I pretty much entered all the gardening things that I could find.
Mm-hmm.
Have a great day, Sandy. Sandy's
And
heading
I
out.
have a weird container growing challenge myself going out there. And I planted in some tires.
Mm-hmm.
I want to
Awesome.
see if anybody else grows in. I get some really good ideas from that. And I have another idea too, but it's something I'm going to have to purchase. Normally, though, for the weird container growing, it's stuff you find around your house that you're like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I could totally grow something.
And
in that.
I can start that at any time, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm not behind on it
Gail's
because
already put out a video, and I've already put out a video. So I just said between now and the end of August. So it just covers the whole summer season pretty much.
I'm
Yep.
going to do that and I know what I'm going to use and I just haven't I'll tell you what it is too because I don't care if anybody else tries it, but I know people have done it before. I'm going to try it. I really want to grow potatoes this year. I've grown sweet potatoes, but I've never grown other potatoes. I'm wanting to grow potatoes this year and I want to try to grow some in a laundry basket because I have an extra laundry basket I was going to throw away.
Oh, that's a great weird container. That's thinking outside the box. Good. That's
Yeah,
cool.
and I want to use I looked it up on
That's
YouTube.
what we didn't get last year in the
Yep,
weird container growing. We didn't get that. Nobody did that last year.
yep.
Yeah. And I think that grown potatoes will do well by you because I know here in our climate, Tammy,
Mm-hmm.
we have similar struggles. And the bottom line is the root vegetables seem to do better here overall if there's no pest issues. Like we had turnips,
Mm-hmm.
but the potatoes, the beets, the carrots, they all did great.
Really?
Mhm.
Hey Lisa.
Oh, but they still tasted really good.
Mm-hmm. I have some small ones growing in Dixie cups right now. And heck, they're supposed to be little guys. I think they're called like Chardonnay or I don't know, some CH name. And they're supposed to be short, so they should fit right there in that Dixie cup. We'll see how they do.
So in my potatoes grow great in a hamper. Yeah. I grew a couple of things in a trash can last year. I grew okra in a trash can. Of course, I bleached it out and everything, let it bleach out for several days.
Mm-hmm.
Growing Cajun peppers is super easy. Yeah. I just
Hey,
have never thought to buy seeds for that.
mm-hmm.
I got to looking at my tomato varieties. I have 12. I have to decide which ones to plant.
Plant them all.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so I have 6 T-posts, right? I'm going to use T-post instead of tomato cages this year. I have 6 T-posts. Let's see what it says.
Oh, I saw that one.
I would love to enter that, except for I don't eat beets. I'm sorry. But I would totally. So that's awesome. I assume that's a beet challenge. But what was I saying? I get so easily
The
distracted.
T-posts.
T-posts, yes. So I have 6 T-posts this year, and I'm going to use those to lightly tie up my tomatoes so they won't fall over this year. I remember seeing my father do that. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have one growing over here, one growing over here. So I'm going to have 6 different varieties in that one bed, right? And then on the ends of it, I'm going to have basil. And then on the middle, I'm going to have a basil plant. So I'm going to have basil to try to ward off the different bugs. And then since I have 6 more varieties. So I think maybe some of those other varieties I might try to do either in the big trash can I have from last year or some totes, because I grew tomatillos in totes last year. And I thought I would save my cherry tomatoes to grow in a tote, because that's one of the varieties I had was a cherry tomato.
Nice. I'm excited. I've got my cherry tomato seedlings and I'm getting ready to put one in the hydroponic container that I made.
Awesome.
Super excited.
Seeing that.
maybe after I get my utility room very cleaned and clear, I can maybe do maybe try hydroponics maybe next year. But this year, I have a old baker's rack, the old metal baker's racks that has 2 shelves. So I just have right now. I just have the bottom one, or it'd be the second shelf that has the grow light, and then I have the heating mat and the peppers growing right here.
Mhm.
But it has potential to grow more. Like that could be a 4 shelf, can be converted into a 4 shelf growing station.
Mhm.
And I think I'm going to do that. But hubby's going to work on getting the utility room kind of organized, maybe putting some stuff out in the shed that we don't
Nice.
use all the time. And so we're going to work on that. And once we do, maybe I can have a bigger little growing thing going on in the utility room.
I had to clean out a corner for mine. Because I have my plants sitting on, like, in front of my front door, our little bitty entryway, if you want to call it that. I've got like a bench sitting there, and I've got plants on the bench, under the bench, next to the bench. I carry
Right here. This is the door to the utility room.
uh-huh.
And in the utility room is the door to the back door. Actually, it'd be, nope, right here.
Yeah.
That one. So that's the utility room with the laundry stuff.
I had that space, and I was thinking, well, maybe, and I've got, the one room I've kind of given to the grandbabies. It's all their toys. It's like a guest bedroom, but all their toys are in there, wall to wall toys. And I don't want to take away the grandbabies' play space. And then the other room is like our music room, slash office, I guess you could say, but mostly music stuff. And so I can't really go in there. I don't want anything with water in there with our guitars and amps and all that.
Yeah.
So I was thinking the front bathtub, maybe, like if anybody comes to stay, we could it's our kids, they could take a shower in our bathroom. But then I was thinking about the table where I have my sewing machine, but then I was thinking every time I sew, the table's going to be jostling a little bit. So I actually cleaned out a corner and set up a little table over next to where I sew, where they'll kind of be out of the way and have their own little space.
Yeah,
But
that's
hard. It is hard.
I have cats. And so the utility room is really the best place for it because there's no cats in there. That's the laundry room, and there's a table in there that you need to put holiday stuff on, and then there's another shelf on the other wall that's like paint, gardening stuff for the chickens, stuff for the cats, all that kind of stuff is in there. It's kind of like a catch-all little room, and it's just a long, skinny room.
Yep.
That's awesome. Yeah, because cats don't have boundaries.
No.
They need to do bulldogs. Don't feel bad, except that I can put it on a table, and then the bulldog, he has to bump into the table to knock it across the room.
Yeah.
So how do you feel that you're doing on your goals so far? Like, I guess when you talked about your channel, and I don't want to always use the channel as an example, but when you talked about your channel, you had some very specific steps there, like Tuesdays, I'm this channel. Thursdays, I'm this channel. Saturdays, it's open channel. I think you had some really good specific steps. So are there other goals in your whole goal plan that you feel like you're making specific progress on?
I think getting that board completed where I can physically see, okay, this week I have a little circle that says Coupon Gail Live 1. So that's the first one I've done. I have 2 and 3. My goal is to do 3 1-hour lives on Coupon Gail per week. So that's a goal. And then on Gail Southern Living, 3 or 4 8-minute videos. 8 minutes because they put that commercial in the middle. So 3 or 4 8-minute videos is the goal on that channel. Southern Sandy, I want to try to do like more 1 8-minute video a week and maybe a shout out video because this is a smaller channel. So when you're starting off small, you want to do a lot of shout outs for people and stuff, to let them know, you're a team player and, that you appreciate them watching your videos and stuff. So every channel has completely different goals. And I want a visual, even like, ordering all those coupons, I have to continue to order the coupons so that I have them coming in for the couponing channel. So like I said, but I need to get some Velcro because I want to be able to pull it from here over here. And that way I can visually see, hey,
idea.
you've done this. Okay, now today is Gail's Southern Living Day. Have you done all your 8-minute videos? Okay, what do you need to do right now? What cooking video, what gardening video, what Gail's Tale video, what video do you need to do to reach your goals for that week? And stuff like that. And, I haven't started doing any goals on any lives on the Southern Sandy channel. I would like to do one just for fun. I would like to do one now that I've kind of got the hang of making stitch markers. I would like to maybe do a video where you can just see my hands, where you could see exactly how long it takes me to make a stitch marker or a stitch markers. I'm getting pretty good at it now. I've been slamming them out.
I'm writing it down because I didn't know you had. I missed that update that you had the 3rd channel. I know you mentioned it earlier today.
I had it back there as a backup channel in case I ever hit on one of the prepping subjects that got my channel shut down. It was my backup channel, and I used it just to do shorts to see how I could grow. And then I used it for traveling videos and stuff like that. And then I started watching these crafting channels, and it sort of ignited the scrapbooking crafty person in the background. And then I said, you know what? I already have this channel out there. All I'll do is, instead of Southern Sandy, I'll just add the word crafts to the end of it. So that way I could do my crafts on that channel for fun. And so I made an Easter wreath, and I've made stitch markers, and I've made all kinds of paper crafts. I'm trying to do that. Getting better at it. Man, these girls, boy, they can make some seriously cool stuff. I want to learn how to make rosettes and bows and stuff like that. I have no clue. They send me stuff, and I'm like, oh my gosh, how do you do that? I need a tutorial. Go slower, please.
Yeah, your stitch markers are gorgeous. I just want to go to the chat for a minute. Cosinando Conampi is here. Hello, greetings from Spain. Hello, Ampy, welcome in. She has a wonderful cooking channel. And she is in Spain. She does a great job.
Send me the link for her channel later, and I'll go check her out.
Yeah, we'll do. So I really like that you're a great example of taking this goal plan to heart and also making it visual. So I just want to let you know that I really do appreciate that, because you put a lot of effort into that board, and you really broke it down and asked for feedback. So I just want to give you kudos, because I know that for a lot of us that can be challenging to do, but it seems like it fits with how you think and your personality.
Very detail oriented on things. I do, though, have a little bit of ADD where sometimes I start things I don't finish. But when I do finish it, I try to always do it well. And everything I do is pretty much over the top, Oh no, you couldn't write it down on a piece of paper. No, you had to make a whole vision board of it, But anyway, but that's just me. It's either I don't do it at all or I go way overboard. But
how does that help you, though, having the visual, because
it does help. And that's why I'm really excited to get the other part of it together. And I got to find a really good place to put it, both of them probably together, where I can see I can read back the 7F goals and say, okay, are you doing this? Are you doing that? And maybe even write some of this down on notebook paper where I can do it. Or maybe I could just check it right off on that paper. Hey, you're doing good on this, or, and try to remind yourself you need to focus on this. Maybe even have a little chalkboard section where you can write down the part of the 7F goals that you're missing right now that you need to focus on, which right now, admittingly, it's fitness. I need to get out there and start walking, drinking water, and get back on the healthy eating plan. That's where I'm lacking, and that's where I need help right now.
So is that something we could help you with today? Do you need ideas, or do you need motivation? Do we need to put your feet to the fire?
You could, I don't know, send me a text. hey, how you doing on your fitness goals today? Or hey, did you go walk today? Accountability partner, something like that. Maybe I need one
Okay.
of those. I've heard of that with working out. You need accountability. But I was doing really well. I was going like 3 or 4 days a week to the park and walking because it's just so pretty there. And there's those stairs. So there's that extra little challenge there. And then, yeah, I think the dry erase board would be really cool for writing down what you need to focus on from your 7F boards that you're missing. Because like I said, right now, I even have a chalkboard right back here.
Wow.
You can't really see what the writing is, but
awesome.
this is my sort of temporary version of it, where I'm trying to myself, hey, work on the laundry. You can see laundry is on the top. I'm like, oh, I hate laundry. And then it says Gail's Tales and a few other things. But anyway, yeah, it's very visual, and I'm not allowed to erase it until it's done. So,
I'm
but yeah.
laughing because Leanne says, get it, Lisa. You sound like someone I know, because Leanne was on my butt to get this room clean behind me. And it wasn't the cleaning the room. It was because all my mom's stuff was in there and I didn't want to deal with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it really wasn't.
Dollar Tree today, so I'm going to get my Velcro so I can work on that, and I'll try to do a little video on it or something like that so you guys can see what I'm actually talking about. And I've literally color coded the channels so that I know orange is Gail Southern Living and white, or each color is a different channel, so I know that you can use it for that specific thing. And that I've even added some specific Shed Wars things to the board, because I'll have that for literally, that's going to be a lot of your year. Thank you.
So I think that Tammy would make a better accountability partner for you than me.
Yeah,
right, Tammy?
Take a leg and lift.
Maybe. I mean,
today, and that looks really interesting. I'm thinking you would need a pretty good sized container to do that in.
That's what I was thinking.
Did see at Bountiful Harvest Abby. I did see her accepting a challenge on that, and it's basically growing everything in a container that you need to make salsa. And I think I'm wondering if you could do that with a tote, but I feel like you almost really need something bigger for that. But yeah, that is a neat idea for those with small amount of space.
That's exactly what I was thinking. You need a larger container.
Yeah, you have to grow a tomato, a jalapeno,
cilantro,
maybe onions, which is
Yep, green onions.
I'll look back and see if she has specific things in that, because I've already, I get all anxious and I've already planted some things, and like I said, I'm not overly worried about it because I have plenty of container or tote. Yeah, that's neat. I guess you could do the cherry tomatoes because they're smaller. I don't know.
That's a good idea.
Like a regular tote or one of those long totes, you could do. We had a really long tote we planted bell peppers in last year. Hello, Nora, Stock Explorer. How are you?
Nora.
I think Nora is going to do my weird container challenge on her Tropical Buzz gardening channel that she has.
So, Melody, would the stackable planters, like all of them stacked together, be one container?
Oh, right.
That's a good idea. I like that. I don't know if that works, but that's a good idea. I like it.
I'm trying to grow green onions in here now. They're not doing anything, and they've got about another week, and I'm replacing them all with hydroponics. So,
that's what I'm thinking next year. Instead of using my corner space, getting my bench moved somewhere else and getting a shelving system and having the hydroponics so that I don't have to carry winter vegetables in and out. Because everything that I'm growing right now, I feel like could be grown hydroponics. Nothing is too huge. It's all the leafy stuff, kale, turnip greens. I'll do that next year. I love that. I'm so excited, Lisa. Thank you for doing these videos.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it. I've done it. I did it with lettuce the first year we were in South Dakota, and I did it, and it just turned out so easily and turned out beautifully that I'm trying to do something different. So that's why I'm trying to make more of my containers, because the bok choy, I think, let's see, Rochelle at Brampton Gardener planted hers in January, about a month before mine, and she's already, they're seeding, going to seed. So I'm hoping in another couple of weeks, I'm going to have bok choy, and then I can use the containers. What I'll do is leave some of the bigger ones to see if they come back. But I really,
container. I watched that video where you did that. That was awesome.
yeah. And the thing of it is I'm going to be emptying coffee containers into Ziploc bags because I need more, because I have about 6 tomato seedlings. Ryan doesn't know it, but all the coffee is going to be emptied out into Ziplocs.
So I've seen you use glass containers, the jars, and the coffee containers are metal. What about like a large empty protein container?
Plastic?
Can you use plastic?
Protein, like a protein powder.
Yeah, like, because they're kind of large.
All the time, because when I'm on my healthy eating diet, I have my protein shake every morning, and it has spinach in it, protein powder, and mint and stuff like that.
Yeah. Can you use those, Lisa? Plastic?
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, hang on, I'll show you.
I love those containers. They're perfect size, and they always have a lid. I use those all the time when I use up all my protein.
So the container that I used was, and I'm just going to make me larger for a minute.
Okay.
Is a coffee can. It's a plastic coffee container.
Oh, you did use a plastic one.
Yeah, this is completely plastic.
I don't know why my brain was looking at it and thinking metal. How funny.
Hey, she stole my thunder. Yeah, so it's plastic.
Yeah.
And so I have varying sizes of this. So a protein container.
Yep.
Protein powder.
Perfect.
And they come in black too. Depends on what brand I buy, but some of them have black. It doesn't have the packaging on it because I think I've seen it on the coupon. That's why it has no label on it. But yeah, this is protein powder. The one right behind it has all my nuts in it. When I'm on my healthy eating plan, I eat nuts a couple of times a day, and it's black, solid black.
Yeah, so that one there, I would take the lid off and spray paint it black. Because the spray paint would, and you have to make sure that you get a spray paint that will adhere to a plastic. So you may have to scrape it up a bit. What's that?
I have another one that actually is black. It just depends on what brand you buy.
Exactly. But if you use that to keep all the light out, and then you have that black lid, and then you take depending on the plant you're going to use. So say you're going to do lettuce or something, I would do like a yogurt cup. Or a margarine container, the round one. You could put holes in that and cut a hole in the top and just make sure it fits tight. And take some rocks and put it in the top instead of the pebbles. Now, it's really for stabilization. But the other thing is you want to make sure that
I was wondering what the pebbles were for. I was watching your video, and I was like, wonder what that is.
Lava rock, molten lava rock, so to speak. And what it is it allows for stabilization, but also circulation. So if you go around and you find some pebbles, just make sure that there's some air between them. Like these are all different sizes. I'm going to see if I can get it to show you.
What about like chicken grit?
It's not large enough.
Small, right?
It's not large enough. It's got to be like... Here, let's see. Oh, they're going all over. Here. Can you see them now?
Yeah.
I gotta collect them or Diesel be eating them.
Right, Toby's stepping on rocks. What is this?
Yeah, it's Diesel. Diesel, he goes after them when he's around me.
Yeah.
Not because they're food, but he goes over there and he runs after him and he gets there and he goes, oh.
It's a rock, not food.
Yeah. I just find that to me, the success is what has me so passionate about it. And you want to know where it all started from? You know, when you grow lettuce outside, like the leaf lettuce, and you get bugs and dirt in it, even though you wash it a million times and you're eating it and you get that grit, I can't stand it.
You know, I didn't notice that with the lettuce. Okay, Will It Grow sends me this lettuce, right? And so I ask him what it is. He won't tell me. He just sends me more. But I'm not complaining. It's good, whatever it is. And I grew it in the raised planter, and I didn't have any grit in it. So crazy container, weird container. Yep, that's it, Melody. You got it.
Yeah. I mean, ouch. We had broccoli and we had nothing in it. When I did the cauliflower, we got one head of cauliflower last year. I soaked it in water too, just like the broccoli. And let me tell you, the worms came out of the cauliflower like you wouldn't believe. And I said, yeah, no, we're good. Chickens got them. Chickens got the cauliflower too.
That's another thing I haven't grown. My big fail last year was broccoli. All I ended up with was little bitty. And I think what happened was by the time it was ready to produce broccoli, it was too hot here.
Yep.
So I need to start those seeds early. And I love broccoli. I'm going to try to get that out early this year.
Yeah. We ended up doing
some things will just lay dormant until the seed will just lay dormant until it's warm enough to start growing. I always used to be so particular on that last frost date, but I started planting a couple of weeks before the last frost date, and stuff comes up and it works just as well. So I think that's just really a border, and people get so focused on that you know, people are like, well, what haven't you planted yet? And I'm like, well, the last frost date, and they're like, well, you know, and I'm like, so I was missing out on things, and things weren't coming up as quick for that reason. I was being so rigid about the rules. And this year I said, okay, I'm going to plant early. I want something coming up. Well, I was anxious last year because I wanted to make sure I had some good stuff coming up for Shed Wars, because people were popping out tomatoes. I'm like, oh, my tomatoes aren't ready yet. You know, but we're all in different growing zones. So.
Well, I'm going to start mine inside, and I'm just going to wait until right after Mother's Day to get them in the garden, because that's when we have our last snow.
Yeah, what we found worked for our broccoli, because we've done it the last 2 years. And, you know, when we lived in Connecticut, Ryan's the gardener. I'm not. All right. So that's his thing, and he's always loved it. I've done it here and there, and I've done container gardens more often. But, you know, he did broccoli in the raised bed, the hugelkultur bed, and it didn't work because, you know, the soil coolness was not even. It would get hot and dry. It would get cool when we watered. It would get hot and dry, cool when we watered. So it was up and down because of our climate.
Yeah.
What we found last year was we put a cloth over our hugelkultur bed. And when we did, now mind you, we put the cloth over it. Why? Hail, right? Snow ends and hail season starts. And so we covered it to protect it from hail. And lo and behold, the sun was not directly on it, yet the sun rays could go through it. And the cool part about it was that it had enough soil moisture to keep the soil evenly temperatured, the temperature even. And we actually got a great harvest of broccoli.
Wow.
So it was like you find it out by mistake, but it really worked great. So Tammy, what growing season are you in? Bountiful Harvest wants to know.
6B. 6B, high desert. I have a lot of what Lisa just described, as in we can have warm and dry, and then we can have snow. We can have 5 inches, and then it could get up to 62 degrees the week after and be very warm and dry, and with that direct sunlight, very hot. Hey, Lisa, you said you use fabric over it. Did you use like a garden fabric, or what kind of fabric did you put over the bed?
I'll send you the link. It's like a row cover, but It's in one of my videos on my, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
It's a beige colored cloth you got from Amazon. We were going to buy it for hail. It didn't work well for hail. We ended up getting something that has holes in it to let smaller hail through, because otherwise it'll fold in the fence.
Yeah.
I've used sheets before in a pinch, because I have a bunch of sheets I use to cover stuff out in the shed, and I just used those one year for covering.
Yeah.
Did it work? Did it protect everything when it snowed or when it got cold? What's the coldest you get where you're at? Because I don't get as cold as Lisa. We get down to we could get down to 3 degrees. I mean, that's typically our coldest.
Well, I'm trying to remember if I was covering it because it was the end and it was fall about to go into winter, or if it was spring where I planted too early. I'm thinking it was spring where I planted too early, and then they said, "Oh, you got a frost coming in," and we covered it. I think that's what happened. I think some of it was just barely coming up, so it was really easy just to sort of drape over, especially since a lot of it's in raised beds.
Maybe your
planters and stuff.
Yeah, your typical cold nights, but not too. My husband just reminded me, it has gotten as cold as -20, but that's not common, but it could. That's
Hi,
what
Andale.
I'm watching for. I'm in Arizona, Abby, northern Arizona.
Oh, she's in 6th grade.
Abby, when do you get your last snow? See, I'm not even thinking frost. I'm thinking we get our last
April frost. April 1st is ours.
Bye, Lori. Our last frost is, we say the first week in June, but technically it could go into the second week in June. And so, like I said, I'm going to stick with growing inside, but I told Ryan, he's got to get them darn seedlings going. But I'm letting it go. It's his thing. It's just, Blue's going to sit on the heating mat. Let me tell you, that heating mat, I go over and I lean on it to reach across and get one of those jars. And I'm like, oh, that feels so good.
I'll bet.
But we also have the pellet stove next to the table. So, but we are getting near the end. We've got about less than 3 minutes left. And I just wanted to say, does anybody have any questions for Gail? Because Gail, you did such a great job on your goal plan. You're driven.
You did. I love it. I love how you made it so you can look at it. You put everything big picture and you broke it down into smaller chunks by the week and the day as to what you are doing to move forward.
Yeah, I think I just finished part two of the board, which is the specific channel goals. I'm going to go by Dollar Tree, I think, and see if they have any Velcro for that today. So I'll be able to get that. I showed it to Lisa where I had a little quarter rounder and then I laminated it and I'd already written on it. And then I'm just going to Velcro it from here to here. Over here will be all the pieces. And then over here is where I put it, where I can visually see, okay, what's done on this channel. This, because I have the other half of this poster board, which I'll probably end up using for that.
Gosh, Melody at Bake a Leg and Let's Dig It says her last frost is April 20th. I would give for that. I've never lived anywhere that had a last frost date of April 20th. That's awesome. That's a long growing season. Yeah, we have a long growing season. However, when you guys were still getting vegetables, mine was being eaten by caterpillars last year. So. Yeah. So my goal is to try to figure out, the only thing I could find last year was poison, but I'm going to do some more research. That research I did last year when it happened, but I'm going to do some more research. And if anybody has any pointers on caterpillars, please let me know. I know one thing I have to do is check under the leaves for the little pod thingy and to physically remove those pods and destroy them. Yeah. I'm looking at Abby's comment and Tammy, I'll let you respond, but I wanted to just say something. It's that you should wait till last snow as there's snow in the forecast.
That's what I do. And I just looked up my last is June 11th. I've never listened to this since I've been up here. I just know that we get our last snow the week of Mother's Day. And after that, once we get that last snow, I don't worry about it. And I go ahead and plant out in the garden, and it has not bit me. I didn't know our last frost date was June 11th.
Yeah. And
That's
Robert's Garage, we're in South Dakota. I'm in South Dakota. Gail is in Texas. I hope you don't mind saying that because you've said that on your channel. I apologize.
Yeah, I have my P.O. box everywhere, pretty much.
And Mtn Grandma is in Arizona. And Abby, the reason why I was laughing is because sometimes they talk about these things when it comes to planting, and they're like, wait till the last snow. I don't know when that is. It could not be in the forecast, and I could wake up with it because spring is the heaviest snow time of year for us. But the cool part about it is it goes away really quick. But we always get more wet, heavy snow this time of year, whereas earlier in the year it's very powdery and stuff like that.
Yeah, we have accidentally gotten snow on Easter before, but it's very rare. Literally, like every 5 to 7 years in Texas. It's very, very rare.
Oh wow, that's cool, Robert's Garage. So you're in South Dakota and you're 2 miles from the North Dakota border. Wow.
Hi, Uncle Al.
I am. I'm in the southern Black Hills, so North Dakota is a ways away. But I know that South Dakota is such a huge state because when I drove across to the Cooney pig breeder, they were in Effington or around there. And it was really funny or New Effington. And it was funny because it took us 8 hours to get there. But hey, Capone Cabin. So any last minute questions for Gail? Because we're at an hour and I know everybody has other stuff they need to do today and we don't want to keep you guys. But while we're waiting, Gail, I just want to thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gail, for sharing that board.
Check out my Gail's Tales. I'm going to download today of my story of my workplace bullies. Is going to be the story I'm going to tell, which is the hardest story and video I've ever had to make. So I hope you guys will go check that out. I finally made myself do it.
Good for you. And what I'm going to do is right after the live ends, I'm going to put the links for your channels in the description if I have not already done so. And Robert's Garage, we are, let's see here. I'm trying to think of a closer place to let them know. I saw where you said, let's say in between. No, I can't say that either. Southern Black Hills, Robert's Garage. I'm going to stick with that just because I had some concerns about pinpointing the exact area. And then Melody wants me to, there you go. Melody there, I put your comment up. Let's see. Yeah, good, Robert's Garage. I'm glad you got it. Have a good day, Abby.
Thank you, Melody.
All right. Any last minute thoughts?
That's it. Hopefully it's warm enough I can go out and work on some more garden stuff.
Yeah,
I'm excited to get it going.
I'm excited to clean barns this week because I can.
I know. That's about as exciting as my laundry written up on my board.
Yeah. Actually, it's more exciting than laundry because oftentimes everything is so frozen that I can't scrape the barns clean at all. So it's actually nice that everything is defrosted. So going to get that all cleaned up. But thanks for being here today. And Tammy, thanks for being here. And next week, we will be on Mtn Grandma's channel. And Tammy, you want to let them know who our guests will be? Or, oh, no, we're still working on that. Never mind.
Yes. Yeah, guest to be determined. And it'll be.
I've heard who the guest was, so now I'm curious if I heard that.
But I have to confirm before I announce it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
next
I'm going
Tuesday.
to have my brother on Sunday. If anybody wants to meet my brother, Sunday, 4 p.m. Central Time.
And which channel?
It's going to be on Gail Southern Living, and his channel is Hog Beer 79.
Okay. Awesome. And I'm going to put the link for all three of Gail's channels and Mountain Grandma in the description right after this live.
Yep.
So thanks for being here,
It'll
everybody.
be same time next Tuesday, 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time on Mountain Grandma channel.
Okay. I'll see you
All right.
guys then.
All right. Take care. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Have a great week.
All right. Bye, everybody in the chat. You take good care of yourselves. Bye-bye.